Elton John's $33 million Beverly Hills mansion, lifestyle, and more. 2023. Elton John early life and career. Elton John, in full Sir Elton Hercules John, original name Reginald Kenneth Dwight, born March 25, 1947. Pinner, Middlesex, England, British songster, musician, and pianist who was one of the most popular impersonators of the late 20th century. He fused as numerous beaches of popular music and stylistic showmanship as Elvis Presley in a musical and recording career that included the trade of hundreds of millions of records. A child sensation on the piano, John was awarded an education to the Royal Academy of Music at 11. Gravitating toward pop after discovering meter and blues, he joined Bluesology, latterly John Baldry's backing band. In the mid-1960s, he met his major songwriting collaborator, Bertie Taupin, May 22, 1950, Sleaford, Lincolnshire, after both responded to an announcement in a trade magazine. And his first British recording success was with Lady Samantha in 1968. His first American reader, Elton John, was released in 1970 and incontinently established him as a major transnational star. Throughout his career, John demonstrated a supreme gift for assimilating and blending different pop and gemstone styles into a propulsive, streamlined sound that was extroverted, energetic, and kindly impersonal. His recordings were among the first to homogenize electric guitar and oral piano with synthesized instrumentation. His oral style, with its southern accentuation and philosophy bows, was explosively American-told, as was his pianism and ornate philosophy, flavored elaboration of the stylings of Little Richard and Jerry Lee Lewis. His first American mega-hit, Your Song, in 1970, was a love ditty that combined the introspective mood of the period's songster songsmiths with the more traditional pop artificer. John's early 1970s recordings paid homage to country gemstone and folk gemstone models, similar as the Band and Crosby, Stills and Nash. Elton John health and lifestyle. As soon as the news of the fabulous British songster dying from cancer surfaced on the internet, Elton John health condition suckers came anxious about his health condition. Let us read further about his illness via this composition. John made his fans anxious about his health after he was seen leaning on the walking stick during a form at Windsor Castle, where he was made a member of the Order of the Companions of Honor for his music career and campaigning work on AIDS. Is Elton John suffering from cancer? Elton was diagnosed with prostate cancer. After the opinion in the early stage, he decided for surgery through radiation and chemotherapy. The British songster spent 2 nights being watched for in ferocious care and 12 days in the sanitarium, while battling the dangerous and unusual bacterial infection contracted during his recent stint of South America. Claimed Elton John looked frail as he arrived at Leipzig Airport in Germany in a wheelchair after performing as part of his farewell Yellow Brick Road stint. Outside of music, the songster is an HIV and AIDS charity fundraiser and has been involved in the fight against AIDS since the late 1980s. The British musician owns a duplex extension condo in the gaudy Atlanta neighborhood of Buckhead. For times, he worked part-time in that megacity, where he set up the Elton John AIDS Foundation. At age 74, the music legend had a hipsterism relief following a dangerous fall that forced him to register his farewell Yellow Brick Road stint. Interposers claim the fabulous songster is facing a shocking litany of health enterprises, but he keeps traveling to support his lavish life. Concerning his health, John revealed health dread helped him realize he was ready to retire from traveling. He may be a world-notorious rock star, but that doesn't mean the list of Elton John connections need to be exorbitantly long. With the people Elton John has dated, the Bitsy Cotillion songster seems to have preferred more long-term connections. Elton John relationship. Despite the fact that Elton John married Renate Blowell in 1984, there's no Elton John woman. There are, still, Elton John ladyloves and Elton John fellows. He and Blowell resolve in 1988. Another Elton John gal and briefly fiancée was Linda Woodrow. They dated for 2 times, with Elton John suddenly ending effects in 1970. Is Elton John single? No, and he has not been for a while. So who's Elton John courting? The current Elton John hubby is David Furnish, with whom the star shares two sons, Elijah and Zachary. David was an Elton John swain for numerous times previous to their marriage, which took place in December 2014, when gay marriage came legal in the UK. The two have been together for over 25 times. Furnish rounds out the Elton John dating history. Elton's relationship with his director. John Reid and Elton John met at a Christmas party in 1970, when Elton was still going by the name Reginald Kenneth Dwight. The brace struck up a love, and Reid says they lived together as suckers for 5 times. "He was my first great love, and I was his," he said. John Reid also acted as Elton John's director for 25 times. Their relationship as director and artist also came to an end in 1998, when Elton John took John Reid to court professing negligence and breach of duty with millions of bones of the songster's plutocrat. They laterally reportedly settled out of court. Elton John, 56, met his now hubby David Furnish, 72, at a regale party held at the songster's house in 1993, after he told a friend he wanted to meet new people. Elton had lately stopped drinking and was rebuilding a new life in sobriety. I chimed up a friend in London and said, "Could you please rattle some new people together for regale then Saturday?" Elton told Parade in 2010. Elton and David had a civil cooperation in 2005 and a marriage form Ion December 21. 2014, as soon as same coitus marriage was legalized in the UK. Elton said at the time, "Having our civil cooperation was an inconceivable advance for people that have campaigned for a long time. Through the 60s and the 50s in England, when it was so hard to be gay and hard to be open about it, and it was a felonious act." Elton John net worth, assets, and his Beverly Hills mansion tour. Elton John is an extremely popular and successful British songster, musician, pianist, and tunesmith. As of this jotting, Elton John has a net worth of $550 million. Elton is known as one of the hard-headed celebrity art collectors on the earth. His art collection alone could fluently be worth $200 million in the right request. His collection has included pieces by Mapplethorpe, Warhol, Basquiat, Haring, Damien Hirst, and numerous further. In 2004, Elton vended 70 photos from his collection for $0. His photography collection is one of the largest collections on the earth. Since 1974, Elton John's primary home has been a large estate called Woodside in Old Windsor, Berkshire, England. Woodside is a 37-acre estate that dates back to the 1750s. Elton acquired the property in 1974 for £400,000, roughly the same as around $5 million USD moment after affectation and currency changes. As we mentioned preliminarily, up to that point, he was still living primarily with his mama and stepfather in their small apartment. In 1988, he vended the entire contents of the house for $8 million a transaction. He also set about refurbishing and refurnishing the entire property. Then's a look at some of their stunning parcels, including their 22 restroom manse in Beverly Hills. Yes, you read that rightly. One of their houses has 22 bathrooms. John and Furnish live in a sprawling 20-acre property in Beverly Hills. Their mega mansion, located in the exclusive 90,210 zip code, is a whopping 260 square bases with 10 bedrooms and 22 bathrooms. The couple bought the 3-story Mediterranean manor in 2015 for $32.6 million. The residence has 9 fireplaces, formal living and dining areas, and a huge garage where John keeps his luxury auto collection. Some of the other amenities include a webbing room, a wine basement, an elevator, a game room, as well as a spa. And that's just the inside. Outside, you will find a pool house with a kitchen, and a tennis court. The star has described the ultimate property as tastefully over the top. It has several different apartments, including a library, a salon, an art gallery, and a tabernacle. While at this emulsion, John imposes a no-tech rule, meaning no TV and no phones. So this is all for today's video. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as we upload a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next one.